Breaking tonight in the wake of brutal beheadings, crucifixions, and targeted terror attacks in Paris and Canada, among other places, the commander-in-chief blames the media for overstating America's terror concerns and says the trajectory of the planet is one toward less violence. Good evening and welcome to the Kelly File, everyone. I'm Megyn Kelly. President Obama sat down with the internet-based news outlet Vox late last month and seemed to suggest that people's fears about terror are the product of a sensationalized news cycle.
The trajectory of this planet overall is one towards less violence, more tolerance, less strife, less poverty.
Do you think the media sometimes overstates the sort of level of alarm people should have about terrorism and this kind of chaos as opposed to a longer-term problem of climate change and epidemic disease?
Absolutely. And, I don't blame the media for that. What's the famous saying about local newscasts, right? If it bleeds, it leads, right? You show crime stories and you show fires, because that's what folks watch. It's all.
Well, that message apparently in conflict with the warnings of several four-star generals, intelligence directors, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, and the former defense secretary, all of whom have recently warned of a threat that seems very real and very grave.
We are facing a form of a cancerous component of the Islamic religion, which has a fanaticism to it that has everything which is against our way of life, and they, in fact, have declared war on us.
The United States is confronting emerging security challenges on a scale not seen since the rise of the Soviet Union to superpower status following World War II.
They're beyond just a terrorist group. Oh, this is beyond anything that we've seen. So we must prepare for everything.
Because of open borders and immigration issues, it's an immediate threat.
Chief White House correspondent Ed Henry is live in Washington tonight at the White House. Ed?
Megyn, good to see you. The bottom line is the president had a joint news conference with the German Chancellor Angela Merkel today, and they discussed some of those threats all around the world that you were just referring to, from Ukraine to Iran. But the president barely mentioned ISIS, and that comes after Friday's speech where his national security advisor Susan Rice said that we can't give in to alarmism about these terror threats. The president's Thursday National Prayer Breakfast speech, where he talked about Christians doing terrible deeds over the years, appearing to downplay these terror threats. Listen to another part of the Vox.com interview where he compared his job to a big city mayor battling small crime.
It is entirely legitimate for the American people to be deeply concerned when you've got a bunch of violent, vicious zealots who behead people or randomly shoot a bunch of folks in a deli in Paris. And we devote enormous resources to that, and it is right and appropriate for us to be vigilant and aggressive in trying to deal with that. The same way that a big city mayor's got to cut the crime rate down if he wants that city to thrive.
That part about a random shooting, remember what he left out is that deli in Paris was a kosher deli specifically targeted because it was in a Jewish neighborhood. Megyn?